inside the world's largest aircraft carrier. Are you interested in looking up the world's largest aircraft carrier? You probably should be looking out for the U.S. Gerald Ford. This aircraft carrier is no doubt the world's largest aircraft carrier in the world's dominant navy. It is also gargantuan. Hello guys, welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel. Before we go ahead with this video, if you love videos about crazy, luxurious feats, click on the subscribe button to stay in touch with all the cool and very interesting videos we share on this channel. In today's video, we will get inside this massive aircraft carrier. So, without wasting time, let's get into the world's largest aircraft carrier and take the most amazing ride of our lives. Here are some amazing fun facts about the aircraft carrier. Are you aware that the construction of the aircraft carrier took about 8 long years? Not only this, for testing it took an additional year. The aircraft carrier is large enough to tower over the biggest building in so many cities. So now you at least have an idea of what this massive device looks like. Another fact you should note is the fact that this aircraft carrier was named after the 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford. Remarkably, this aircraft carrier is the lead ship in the US Navy. As for the length, it runs over 1,000 feet or about 3 American football fields. It is as tall as 250 feet high and weighs over 100,000 tons. That is massive, don't you think? Moving into this aircraft carrier, you are going to be touring over 25 decks on board. The enormous ship, which can comfortably house over 4,500 people and convey over 25 aircraft, is powered by 2 nuclear reactors and fully loaded. That makes her the largest warship ever built. The entire construction is said to have cost more than $17 billion, including $5 billion that were spent on research alone. After so many delays, the aircraft carrier finally came in at 22% over the intended budget. Invariably, if there was no extra cash kept aside for this, the project would have ended up unfinished and abandoned. Construction kicked off around 2009 and was completed and finally delivered to the Navy in late 2017, after the ship was formally commissioned by Donald Trump. Interestingly, Gerald Ford died during the time of construction, so while the naming was already in place, he never got to see the finished product. Of course, the primary aim of this ship is to provide a launch base for all 75 aircraft. Right inside this massive carrier is a large hangar, where aircraft are stored when they are not on deck or being readied for a mission. Inside the hangar, there's also an array of weaponry and several massive lifts specially designed to move the weaponry from storage locations to the aircraft ready to be armed. Are you familiar with the videos of the intense-looking takeoffs and landings that military aircraft undertake from aircraft carriers? Well, the Gerald R. Ford's deck is the longest on offer for these daring pilots. But they still have to launch and land their jets on a deck of just 1,100 feet. Remarkably, the decks all have a severe overhanging drop off into the ocean. The aircraft are controlled from an integrated catapult control system, which is informally referred to as a bubble, through which officers set up the high-paced catapult-assisted takeoffs. In the tower, there are powerful computers that assist in the arrangement of aircraft on the deck. The carrier also boasts of improved technology. Improvements in technology mean that an additional 25% of aircraft can easily be launched every single day by 25% fewer crew members than would be required on the Nimitz models of warships that predated the Gerald Ford. Well, this is generally what efficiency is about. When there are fewer crew members to operate additional aircraft on the deck, then efficiency is super high, and there is the presence of a highly improved technology. In the long run, it's hoped that the reduced crew numbers required will help offset the high cost of the new ship. Amazingly, Ford's electromagnetic launch system also weighs less, occupies less space, and requires less maintenance than the steam-powered catapults that were formerly in use. The aircraft themselves are expected to benefit from the reduced strain. Again, with technical adjustments, there is expected to have an increase in the various types of aircraft that can be launched. As wonderful as this technology was, it also caused some notable delays in the construction of the aircraft carrier, and is noted to still be the cause of some issues currently recorded on the device. However, the magnificent build of this machine had Navy officers gushing at the beauty. Jonathan Greenert, Chief of Naval Operations, once proclaimed how much a technological marvel the carrier is. He further said, "She will carry unmanned aircraft, joint strike fighters, and she will deploy lasers." For aircraft landing, there are more than 40 different fueling stations to help them get back off the deck. Interestingly, officers still have access to the old ways of doing things. In the case of Gerald R. Ford, the sailors occasionally collect autographs of famous visitors, including presidents, since they are known to be the most frequent visitors on board. On the side of the deck, chutes are provided for offloading. There is a legacy safety measure put in place for any weapons that might be misfired. This legacy came to be right after the incident that took place in the 60s. Back in the 60s, there was a weapon failure that led to a fire. Sadly, over 100 deaths occurred aboard the USS Forrestal. Of course, the numerous types of aircraft are not the only weaponry on offer to the carrier. For the aircraft carrier to protect its own decks, the ship flaunts various short-range anti-aircraft, Sea Sparrows, and anti-missile weapons. This breathtaking ship also features RAM weapons, the lightweight surface-to-air options that can easily be moved around the deck. If you're in search of the broader control center, you're obviously looking for the bridge from which the twin nuclear engines can be used to power the colossal ship to speeds of over 30 knots. As you may probably have imagined, since the ship is at 100,000 tons, it takes quite a while to stop it while it's in motion. While the core functions of the ship are generally controlled digitally, there is an actual physical steering wheel as a backup in case of any technical problems. Both digital and paper systems are used during navigations. Nonetheless, the most interesting part of this section is the touchscreen setup. This section of the ship is said to almost drive itself instead of waiting to be controlled. In fact, the changes from previous ships are so significant that in the early days of testing, Ford's crew reported that they were, for all intents and purposes, working out guidelines for how to sail as they worked. Practically soaring with the slogan, "Integrity at the helm," Gerald R. Ford naturally boasts a lot of military hardware. Despite all these, the ship is also designed to provide a modest level of comfort to thousands of people who might decide to call it home for a given number of periods. A glance at the Ford will convince you that the ship is a modern carrier that flaunts gender-neutral toilets. While most of those on board are generally men, it simply means there are no urinals on the whole ship. Well, this is no doubt a bad side to the feature of this fantastic ship, for whenever it decides to convey females. Well, the reasoning though is not political, but practical. According to a report from Operations Specialist First Class, Kaylee Motzenbacher, the ship is designed in this manner to make it very flexible. He further revealed that there are no docking areas dedicated to a specific gender. Other modern adaptations compared to other Navy construction include energy-efficient light bulbs, USB ports for phone charging, fewer people to a cabin system, large gym areas, and improved air conditioning. The space within the ship also allows for distinct sleeping and resting areas. Speaking on the improved space, a control man once said, "Usually we have about 12 guys struggling with each other to get in their firefighting ensemble. But here, you can get dressed out and have someone inspect you with enough space for others to enter and exit the area." Big difference. Huge difference. Crewmen are also very impressed with shorter queues for food, improvements to their berths, and the well-thought connection they have with the ship's layout. Remarkably, for television lovers, this ship flaunts flat-screen TVs with on-demand TV boxing facilities and a chapel feature. Right inside the hangar, there are marks on the floor that double as a basketball court, which could make for some interesting games at sea. Lavish conference rooms that have polished tables and ceremonial flags are right there on the ship. The captain's cabin is home to so many Gerald Ford memorabilia. Further into the aircraft hangar is President Ford's picture. Actually, there is a nice history connecting the late president to the ship itself. There on the ship, President Ford is not only honored as a president, but as a Navy veteran too. History has it that Ford was stationed aboard the USS Monterey during World War II. That's about 30 years before he became president. He's said to have saved the ship during a particularly bad storm. Another story has it that Ford was also saved from going overboard during a storm when his foot got caught in a drain on the deck. Well, the connection between the president and the ship is a very interesting one. Sadly, due to teething problems, the ship is yet to be fully operational. A report in early 2021 stated that the ship was facing a launch failure of its aircraft in over 180 attempts out of the 4,166 required. There is no clear picture of how these issues are going to be fixed. Well, there is a lot of expectation that the ship will finally be operating in 2022. That's it, folks, on the world's largest aircraft carrier. If you ever get an amazing offer to tour this magnificent ship, would you step on board? Or would you restrict your movement to a specific section of it? Tell us in the comments. That's it for us. If you loved this video, please give us a like. Check out our other videos and don't forget to subscribe. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's all we have in this video. We hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.